Himbo is going to run point on this topic on the pro-Palestinian grifter. I'm still have academic brain, so I had to add the question mark. Or is it just identity politics, which could be both a grift? But go ahead.
Yeah. So what happened to me? I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people have come across this Blakely person who I will admit has spoken a lot of good things about the Palestinian struggle. Um, However, the issue I took with this person, because they have a very large following and they're undoubtedly making money from their large following doing so, he started switching. And like a lot of these pro Palestine people, especially the pseudo left people like Kyle Kalinske, who you can't call him Kyle Kalinske anymore, by the way. You need to refer to him as Deminem. His name is Deminem.
Yeah.
Is Deminem forever.
I
He
always
will
call
never
him.
not be
I always call him Crystal's husband.
Crystal's son.
Yeah.
Or
I
refer to Crystal as
I
Kyle's
always
mom.
forget his last name, so I'm like Kyle, Crystal's husband. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God.
So all these people, like
He must be
Majority
good in bed.
Report,
Sorry.
yeah, Majority Report, all the pseudo left, Vanguard, all those like pseudo
Young
left sort
Turks.
of, yeah, sort of like half liberal, half like progressive, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They've all turned on a dime from pretending to care about Palestine to now shucking and jiving and twerking for Kamala Harris.
Joy.
And this Blakely chick on a dime just started doing the same thing. And so I called her out, being like, what are you doing? Because she made a post where she essentially was like talking about like how voting for the Green Party was kind of silly and bad. And listen, I'm like I will forever be a we're not going to vote our way out of capitalism sort of person. I don't think bourgeois electoralism has a point to it. I don't think the system works. I think whenever you try and make a change via the electoral process, you'll be blocked at some level or just straight up exterminated, which we've seen in the past. But I digress. She was kind of shit talking the Green Party, so I kind of just made a post saying this you, and she kind of just lost her mind and started this massive like Twitter argument with me, where she was just like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot that I'm misgendering them." Correction. That we'll get to that, but so this person started this giant shitstorm with me, a literal who on the bird app. I don't know. I don't know what about my profile made this person be like, I need to fight with this person all day, but they did it.
They want to make an example out of you.
I did notice.
You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens?
I did notice they kept getting ratioed bad. So they were probably looking at it being like, I'm getting ratioed. I got to do damage control. But my whole point was like, okay, you've done all this great pro-Palestine content, but now and I've made this argument across the board. Okay, if you claim to be supportive of Palestine, but then your solution is to plug people back into the party that is directly funding the genocide of Palestinians, then you're not serious. And I made this argument, and this person, first off, they did not want to engage in that at all, right? So it got to a point where I referred to this person as a lady, and then they pivoted the entire argument to me misgendering them because they're non-binary. Now, I would like to point out first and foremost, this person has no pronouns on the profile. They have no pronouns on their bio. So I'm supposed to be psychic, I guess, and just
that's too bad.
Then
I like to say pronouns in bio, bats in the belfry, but only if they start shit. I don't go after them unless they do. Go ahead. I'm not advocating that, Go ahead.
No, but it's like they're upset over me misgendering them when they're not providing any information, and they are, I will say, they are female passing, like gender-wise. I legitimately didn't even I thought it was just a chick.
Yeah, because she's a woman and she's just making crap up. There's no they. That's a whatever. But yeah, you're a polite guy, so you would have not done that on purpose. That's the point. And
No,
she was
I
trying to
don't.
deflect, making about you bad person, rather than the fact that you got caught her in a contradiction. To be kind about it.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
so I just kept kind of pushing it in the same direction as, listen, you can't be doing this whole like we're going to twerk all day for Dr. Cackles, as I call her, them, I don't know, whatever. We're all them, I
Mhm.
guess. You can't do that and then also pretend to care about Palestine, because the vice president, the one that's running for president,
Mhm.
said on CNN, there was a little bit of ambiguity before. Now there's none. She said directly on CNN, there will be no policy change when it comes to Israel. So you
Yeah.
are guaranteeing without a
Let me be
shred of a
clear.
doubt.
Let me be
Yeah.
clear. Nothing will change. The Israel's security and right to defend itself is something I will never waver from. Let me be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which she didn't need to
So
say that. Of course she's not. I mean, please, people, it's one thing if you're going to lie to it's like, I always wonder, are you just lying to us or you're lying to yourself? Like, who are you trying to convince here?
I think it's a little bit of both.
I
But
mean, it's like, dude. Anyway, you did do this probably upset her too. Oh, see. Yeah.
yeah, that's another one. I've noticed this a lot
Oh,
too.
transicorn.
There's a there's a lot of like
As a
there's
trans
a lot of
person. No, yeah.
there's
Go
a
ahead.
lot of this going on where it's like they're trying to do there's a
I'm
lot of people on
special.
social media who are trying to take like the id poll shit, and they're trying to funnel it into like pseudo or just outright pro-Israel sentiment.
They just use it as a
Um,
shield. Like if I say I'm trans and you can't say anything bad about me, or else you're being transphobic. I mean, it's just a shield.
well, the funny
It's a
thing too is
racket.
this isn't
And
even the
plus the
first
fact that,
time.
yeah, yeah.
This isn't even the first time I have had this tactic weaponized against me.
Hmm.
I remember, I don't know if you guys are familiar with chaotic leftists with a K. They're like they
Chaotic.
claim to be they claim to be a Marxist socialist. They're both, I
Yeah.
guess. But like this same tactic happened with them as well, where I was criticizing them for just unapologetically simping for the Democratic Party.
Hmm.
And then I called them like bro or dude or something. And then they and their friends like exploded and freaked
Hmm.
out. And they're like, you're misgendering, you're transphobic. And it's like,
I'm gonna have to
you're a
share with you.
person on the internet.
Yeah. I'm going to share with you my meme of the wambulance, the misgendering
Mm.
wambulance. Embrace misgendering because it's correctly sexing. Go ahead. Sorry. Is this you in the
No,
FBI? Is
it's
this you with the thicker beard? What's going on here?
yeah, like I just I don't I don't first off, this is just like this is so cynical, I can't put it into words because
Hmm.
they're like, okay,
It's a power
you
trip.
have to you have to support me because I'm part of like the ideological in group, but you also
Mhm.
that means that like if you have any criticism of this subject, then that means you're automatically like a bigot here. I've seen this across the board. This is
Mhm.
their playbook. They take someone, and if they're part of any minority, if you give
Mhm.
them any pushback at all, they will switch the whole conversation, the whole discourse into you're being a bigot, even
Mhm.
if you have a valid point.
Well, and I can't
Yeah,
remember who I
that's
was talking to. It was somebody I was talking to on the show last week. So if they're listening now, I'm sorry if I don't want to make your idea my own. Um, but they were saying that they think a lot of this started, or at least the weaponization of it, during Occupy, when you had the 99% and the 1% thing starting to take root, and you had Bernie Sanders, and then you saw how when people started to talk shit about how Bernie wasn't yeah, was like like a bit racist, or didn't care about really about black people, like he didn't have a black policy, or he didn't want to deal with reparations or something like that. And they thought, we can split this up if we can take out Bernie, if we can get people to start talking about, does Bernie really care about black people? Is Bernie, when Elizabeth Warren trying to say that he did something sexist, like, yeah, Bernie Sanders, such a sexist racist, whatever. But it worked. It worked like a charm. And they know the left loves to go after each other, circle firing squad. It's same thing happened in France after the 68, when you had all the big muckety muck philosophers and theorists snipping at each other, but not about class issues or collective politics, because they were burnt out on that. But I mean, if you think about it, and of course you look back and you can things seem orchestrated, which maybe they just kind of played out that way, or that. But it seems like there's a reason why. Also, you have that, so they could see, okay, well, if we can throw a monkey, if Bernie Sanders was monkey wrench, because there people, and like Tallahassee Coates wrote that thing in the Atlantic about how, again, he was like wanting to bring up how is Bernie really, what's Bernie's black policy? What's Bernie? And of course, Bernie wanted to talk more about universal policies, but that wouldn't work. So he got intersectionalized. The intersectionalists went after him. Yeah. So he wasn't, he wasn't feminist. He wasn't, so anyway, to cast doubt if he really was, what kind of an ally he was to women and African Americans. And they saw that. And then you have all this stuff with, Wall Street banks, fine with the pride flag, BML. They love it. It's great cover. Look, we're progressive. We're cool.
Well, the rainbow capitalism is my favorite. So great. Yeah, I'm sure.
So why did you think? So why did you think that? Why do you think these people are? Are you just saying that? Do you really think they're feds, or do you just think they're acting like a fed?
Well, that's always the kind of question you got to ask. Is this someone doing fed work, or is this someone actually like invested in actually promoting like a narrative at the behest of capital? At the end of the day, you'll never know, but it just like narratives like this, they're so unhinged that like this, it's almost impossible to believe this is a normal person's opinion. As a trans person,
Yeah.
I can no longer support the pro-Palestinian movement. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm sorry, I can't oppose a genocide because of these things that impede like my personal comfort. Like, what is wrong with you? This is the easiest thing. This is the easiest issue to be on the right side of history on in like decades. And you're like, no, I don't know, like decorum. It's not the right decorum. Like, holy crap. I wish I were that like comfy that I could just be like, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on the whole.
I don't know if you saw this one.
Big.
I don't know if you saw this one, but I thought it's good. Gritty
Yeah,
is the way. You guys should follow him if you're not. He gives good meme, or she. I don't know what if it's a guy or a girl. The only real solution. It's a he. The only real solution to the trolley problem.
That literally is.
That's
this
violence.
Whole trolley thing is
That's
ridiculous.
Trolley lives matter. No, sorry, I'm not gonna say that.
Trolley lives matter.
I hope that they let the people get off the trolley, because no, I'm.
No, that's the whole thing, though. It's like, because I've seen this meme.
The trolley driver was non-binary.
Just misgendered the trolley driver. Yeah, like I've seen this meme.
Now maybe I don't like this meme.
It's like, and the thing that's most concerning about this whole narrative that I'm seeing right now is that if you're running with the narrative that I'm seeing across the board, where it's like, okay, well, both parties are going to do genocide, so you might as well pick the party you like that's doing the genocide. What you are doing is you are normalizing genocide.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
This needs to be a deal breaker for you.
This needs to be opposed as strongly as possible. we can't be sitting here going, well, I guess I'll vote for the genocide party that's nice, or I guess I'll vote for the
Well, and the thing
genocide
is, they're
party.
doing the same thing that they get mad at other people for. Oh, it wasn't a deal breaker for you. So when people would say like, yeah, I didn't like Trump, or Trump wasn't my first choice, but I couldn't vote for whoever, and they're like, so what you're saying is you're not a racist, but racist wasn't a red line for you, or you're not a sexist, but they're doing the same thing. So what you're saying is that you're not, that the Palestine isn't a red line for you.